12 News, your local election headquarters debate stage. Pretty heated last night at times as the candidates for Rhode Island's 2nd Congressional District going at each other a bit.
Yeah, Republican Alan Fung and Democrat Seth Magaziner seem to spend more time at points going after each other's party. And 12 News reporter Erica Ritchie is in studio now with some of the highlights from the debate. Erica?
Well, guys, good morning. Alan Fung and Seth Magaziner working diligently to tie the other to an ideology held by his political party, because that's what's on the line in this election: control of Congress. Right now, the Republicans have a lot of momentum going into next month's election, including here in Rhode Island. Magaziner trailing Fung by 6 points going into last night's debate, hoping his performance on the stage might tip those scales. The candidates settled onto the debate stage at the Providence Performing Arts Center last night in front of a live audience, and our moderators Tim White and Ted Nesi jumped right in. Tim White asking Democrat Seth Magaziner right out of the gate if the COVID relief packages handed out by the Biden administration were the cause of inflation.
Certainly, what's going on in Russia and Ukraine is a factor. The fast recovery from COVID is a factor. But another big factor that people aren't talking about enough is price gouging by the big oil companies.
You didn't cite the thing that I asked in the question, which is the Rescue Plan Act that dumped $1.9 trillion into the economy. Do you acknowledge that that played a role?
Look, I don't think that supporting working people who are struggling to keep up the cost of living is a bad thing to do.
I am focused upon the number one issue that's on the people's minds right now. Addressing your question, this cost of living crisis and what fueled it. Opera and that overspending by this president.
Republican Alan Fung's platform in direct alignment with his party nationwide. Democrats, though, have made abortion the main issue since the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
I trust women to make the choice of whether or when to have children. He thinks that it should be up to politicians and judges.
I'm not supportive of any type of national ban or any type of bans or criminalizing it, whether it's at the federal level or at the state level.
Both candidates did find common ground when they both said that they'd support enshrining same-sex marriage into federal law, legalizing recreational marijuana at the federal level, and establishing term limits for U.S. representatives. All right, but there was a lot more that they were at odds over, like an assault weapons ban and Social Security reform. You can watch the entire debate on our website right now. You know where to find it, WPRI.com. Live in studio, Erica Ritchie, 12 News.
Your local election headquarters hosting another big debate last night. The candidates vying for the seat held by retiring Congressman Jim Langevin.
All right, so here are the candidates. Of course, Republican, former Cranston Mayor Alan Fung, Democrat Seth Magaziner, our current general treasurer. They battled it out on the debate stage at PPAC last night, although there's much more than the issues on the line in this race. Erica Ritchie joining us now to explain.
Yeah, guys, speaking of being heated, that debate stage was last night, and that's because control of Congress is on the line here. Nationwide polling indicates that Republicans do have momentum going into the midterms in 3 weeks, and they could flip the House in Washington. Republican Alan Fung here in Rhode Island, well, he's one of them with that momentum. He's currently leading Seth Magaziner by about 6 points, according to our recent polling. So last night, both candidates went after the other party's leaders just as much as they went after each other. Take a listen.
He's doubling down and supporting the same economic policies that our failed president, as well as Speaker Nancy Pelosi, have been forcing onto this economy.
He has already said that he is going to vote for Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader in Congress, to be the next Speaker of the House, even though Kevin McCarthy has said that he is going to put a national abortion ban into play.
Abortion and inflation, those were the two main issues on that debate stage at PPAC last night, much the same way that they are for the two parties across the country. Democrats campaigning on abortion rights, Republicans hitting the cost of living hard. When it came to abortion last night, Republican Alan Fung maintained that he would not support a national abortion ban. Democrat Seth Magaziner vowed to take the Rhode Island model to the nation's capital and codify abortion protections into federal law. When it was inflation's turn for the spotlight on the stage, the candidates were at odds over who caused it and how to fix it.
I have been for suspending the federal gas tax so that people can get some relief at the gas pump. But we have to also be tough on these big industries, the oil industry, the insurance industry, the prescription drug industry, that are price gouging people.
This cost of living crisis and what fueled it. Opera and that overspending by this president.
So much to talk about and so little time during that 1-hour debate last night. The candidates also squaring off on whether to ban assault rifles, whether to legalize marijuana recreationally at the federal level, and the future of Social Security. We're going to take a more in-depth look at last night's debate coming up at the top of the hour over on Fox Providence. For now, though, I'll send it back to you guys for more analysis.